We're often told there are pretty much only two ways the future of AI can go. But what if there was a third option? Today, we're going to explore a really fascinating blueprint for a different kind of future, a vision they're calling the intelligent internet. Let's dive right in.
I want you to just imagine for a second. What if AI wasn't some service you subscribe to from a giant corporation? What if it was more like a public utility, a fundamental resource that actually belonged to you, like a digital extension of your own mind? That's the huge question we're unpacking today.
So, okay, why is such a radical idea even on the table? Well, it all starts with what the source material calls the AI paradox. This is the fundamental problem that they argue has to be solved before we can even think about building this new kind of future.
According to this white paper, right now we're kind of caught between two big problems. On one side, you've got the Great Race, this frantic rush by just a few massive companies to build these huge centralized AIs. And on the other side, something they call gradual disempowerment. I mean, think about how often you let an algorithm pick your music or decide what news you see. We're slowly, piece by piece, trading away our own decision-making just for convenience. The argument here is that these aren't just happening by accident. They're actually failures of design.
Now, what's really interesting here is how it breaks down this paradox. The technology to run AI is getting cheaper literally every single day, and yet access to trustworthy AI is actually shrinking. So why is that? Well, it's because of these three big trends. Centralization means a single outage can disrupt, well, everything. Opacity means we have no idea what biases or security flaws are hidden inside these black boxes. And fragility? That means the whole system is basically a house of cards, where one tiny issue can cause this massive ripple effect.
So the proposed solution to all this is what they're calling the third path. And it's not just pitched as a new piece of tech. It's framed as a whole new kind of social contract, one that's literally written into the code of the network itself.
To make this idea a bit more concrete, the paper uses this really powerful analogy. The vision is to build a Bitcoin for the intelligence age. Now, what does that actually mean? Look, it's not about creating another cryptocurrency, not at all. It's about borrowing that core idea of a secure, decentralized system, but completely reimagining how value gets created inside of it. So how would this actually work? Well, the master plan is this elegant four-step loop. First, you meant value, but only by proving you've provided a real societal benefit. Second, you gift that intelligence to every single human. Third, you scale up the coordination between all these individual AIs. And fourth, you anchor the entire system on open, verifiable knowledge. It's all designed to be this self-reinforcing cycle.
All right, now we're getting to the engine of the whole system. This is maybe the most crucial part to understand: how value is created. This model is specifically designed to reward useful, helpful contributions, not just computational waste.
And this is the core innovation, something called proof of benefit. Think of it like this. No new currency, no new coins can be created unless someone on the network provides cryptographic proof that some genuinely useful work has been done for the public good. It's that simple.
And this slide just brilliantly illustrates the key difference from something like Bitcoin's proof of work. In that system, you have massive amounts of energy being spent just to solve these arbitrary puzzles to secure the network. But with proof of benefit, that exact same energy and computation are directed towards actually useful tasks, like curating data, training open models, or running analysis for users. The work itself has intrinsic value.
This is the unbreakable rule. It's the central promise of the whole economic model. If you can't prove you've contributed something of measurable value to the public commons, the system simply doesn't reward you. End of story. Value is tied directly and verifiably to benefit.
Okay, so we've got the why and the how of creating value. But what does this whole ecosystem actually look like? Who are the players and how is it all structured? So, the ecosystem has 5 key actors. It all starts with the citizen, that's you. You're given an iAgent, which is your own personal sovereign AI. Now, the heavy lifting of the network is done by national champions, and they provide the compute power. Then you have guilds, who act kind of like digital librarians, curating really high-quality data. And watching over it all is the Guardian Lattice, which is basically a network of AIs making sure the system stays healthy and secure. And the whole architecture is stacked in 3 layers, kind of starting from you and moving outward. Layer 2 is the personal layer, which lives right on your device where your iAgent runs. That connects up to Layer 1, the culture layer. You can think of this as like a regional or national hub that can enforce local rules, like data privacy laws. And both of those are built on top of Layer 0, the foundation, which is a single, secure global ledger that records everything.
So that's the big picture. Let's zoom right back in and focus on what this really means for you as an individual. This is where the concept gets really personal and, honestly, pretty exciting. The core principle here is just so simple and powerful. One person, one sovereign account, one AI agent. The goal is to make sure this is a universal right, not some commodity you have to buy. This isn't about creating an army of AI bots. It's about giving every single individual one powerful tool for thought that is uniquely their own.
And this statement really gets to the heart of the proposed shift in ownership. The model being described here isn't about renting access to someone else's AI. It's about owning and commanding your own, an AI that works for your interests because it literally belongs to you. Now, everyone is guaranteed a baseline level of access, but you can actually upgrade your agent's capabilities. For instance, you can prove you're a unique human being to get a higher daily limit. You can donate your device's idle computing power to the network for priority access. Or you can even connect your agent to other specialized proprietary models using your own API keys. The principle is simple. The more you contribute back to the network, the more powerful your personal agent becomes.
And this all feeds right back into that economic engine we were talking about, creating this self-reinforcing flywheel. Here's how it works. Energy is used to fund useful compute. That compute produces open knowledge and intelligence for the public good. Because that work created a proven benefit, new currency is minted. And that new currency is then used to finance more infrastructure and energy, which starts the whole cycle all over again. See? It just keeps going.
So, look, if you remember just a few things from this entire explainer, make it these. First, the intelligent internet is proposed as a public utility for AI. Second, its economic value is directly linked to creating measurable public benefit. Third, every single person gets an AI agent they truly own and control. And finally, the entire system is designed around openness and neutrality, so no single person or company has hidden control.
And that brings us right back to where we started. I know this is a really complex blueprint, but the vision itself boils down to a simple, pretty provocative idea. So the final question to leave you with is this. If you had a powerful AI that was truly yours, that worked only for you and your goals, what would you create with it?